So we have our problem that says the width of a rectangle is 36 feet. The length is 5 more than 3 times the width. What is the area of the pool? So the first thing we're going to do according to the CAM method is we are going to fill out our QVU chart. So here we're going to have our QVU chart. And here's our chart. So the Q, remember, stands for quantities. So the first thing we're going to do is find all our quantities in the problem. Now, what a quantity is, it's something that can be counted or measured. So let's read the first sentence. So the width of a rectangular pool is 36 feet. So looking in this sentence, I see that width right here is something that can be counted or measured. I can measure the length of this pool. So that's going to be my first quantity. My first quantity is going to be the width. Looking at the rest of the sentence, the width of a rectangular pool is 36 feet. There's no other quantities in that sentence, nothing else I can measure. Let's look at the next sentence. The length is 5 more than 3 times the width. So here's our width again, so I don't need to rewrite that. But also we know that length can also be measured. We can measure the length of a pool just like we can the width. So the length is also something that can be measured. Looking at the sentence, nothing else, so let's go to the third. What is the area of the pool? And now I look here and I see that area can be measured. It can't be measured as easily as length and width because you can't just take out a ruler because it's a two-dimensional measurement, area, so I know that area is my last quantity here in this problem. So I've found all of my quantities in my problem. Now I'm going to go to the V part, or the values. Remember that a value is an actual count or measurement. So we're going to take and find our quantities and find what that actual measurement is. It's the amount of something that I'm going to have. So looking at the first sentence again, I'm going to look for my value of my width. So it says the width of a rectangular pool is 36. So know that value, it has 36, it has a value of 36, okay? I'm not worried about the units yet because that's going to come in a little bit, but I have a value of 36. Then it says the length is 5 more than 3 times, so that's going to be my value. 5 more than 3 times the width. So this is 5 more, and in math language, that means plus 5, right? 3 times is going to be 3. I'm going to multiply it by something. Now, it says 3 times the width. Remember, I know that my width is 36. Okay, so I remember that my width is 36. So I can take that 36 and I can basically plug it in right there because I'm going to multiply 3 times my width, or 3 times 36, so let's get my length. So my length is going to be 5 more, or I'm going to add 5, 3 times 36. And there is my length. Now the area, that's what our question's asking, right? It's saying what is the area of the pool? So I don't know the area. I'm going to say it's unknown. Now usually when we have an unknown in a problem, you give it a variable. So I'm going to call it the variable A. Now the last thing that we have is we want to find our units. So we know that we have our quantities, our values, now our units. So looking here, I see that I have 36 feet, right? So I know that my width has a unit of feet. And I know the length is 5 more than 3 times the width. So since the length is being measured in the same units, I know that length is also going to be feet. Now, it's asking for the area of the pool. So now we need to talk about what area is. So what units do we use for area? Now, for area, remember, area is a two-dimensional quantity. So it has 2 different dimensions. So it's not just going to be feet, but it's going to be feet squared, because it's a two-dimensional measurement. So there's our first step in the CAM method. We filled out our QVU chart. The second part says to find the relationships. Now, here we have area, length, and width. So one relationship that I know that relates to these is I know that area equals length times width. I know that one to be true. The other thing I know is that I can also find the perimeter of a shape by doing 2 times my length plus 2 times my width. So here's one relationship, here's 2 relationships that I know dealing with these 3 quantities that I could actually find. Now, The third step of our method says to just identify the question. So our question here that we need to identify is this third sentence in our problem. What is the area of the pool? So since now we're going to just look and say, okay, so which relationship did we have down here at the bottom that's going to help us solve this problem? So that problem, that relationship is going to be area equals length times width. So we're going to take this to now actually solve our problem. So we know we're going to use our relationship that area equals length times width. So area equals our length, and remember our length was 3 times 36 plus 5. And we're going to multiply that by our width, which was 36. So 3 times 36 plus 5, if we type that into our calculators, 3 times 36 gives us 108. 108 plus 5 is 113, so we would get 113 times 36, and 113 times 36 gives us that our area equals 4,068. Now that's not our final answer because we want to actually figure out what are our units. So remember that our length here is measured in feet, and our width here is measured in feet, feet, and feet. And remember, feet times feet gives us feet squared. Or if we were to go back to our QVU chart, we remember that area is always measured in square feet. And there's our answer to the area of the pool. The area of our pool is 4,068 square feet.